Chapter 96. The Search for God. After these words, I, Mathael, and our Jarrah, who does not move from my side, turn to Helena and to her father Uran. When Helena sees me coming towards her, she bursts into a flood of tears of joy and says after a while, I already doubted that this grace would be granted to me to see you, the Lord of my life, beside me and to speak to you. But now everything is very good. For you, whom my heart and my mind has only got to know here, so endlessly wonderfully, have come to me yourself. Oh, now rejoice loudly, you my otherwise so poor heart. For he whose spirit has counted the beats of your pulse from the cradle to the grave stands before you and brings a holy strength in which death will taste sweeter than honey. Then she becomes quiet again, and I say to her, Helena, hearts that love as yours have eternally no death to fear, and will never taste it, neither sweet nor bitter. For see, I myself am the life and the resurrection, and those who believe in me and love me as you do will never see death in all eternity, neither feel it nor taste it. Truly, your heavy body will one day be taken from you, but it will not affect you painfully or knowledgeably. Instead, in one moment, you will be transformed from your heavy, captive life into the brightest life of your soul through my spirit of love which is in you and grows until full similarity with my eternal spirit. Do you now understand this, dearest Helena? But Helena cannot produce a single word from sheer emotion, and now weeps with the loudest sobbing of her heart. It lasts a long time. And Helena is still so moved in her mind by the joy that I came to her, that her tongue is constantly paralyzed anew with tears of joy, as soon as she wants to give me further words of thanks. But I say again to her, my dearest daughter, do not try to speak, for this language of your heart is much more preferable to me than any chosen by your mouth. For you see, on the earth there are some, and in future there will be more, who will say to me, Lord, Lord. And I will answer them and say, why are you calling, strangers? I don't know you, and I have never known you. For you have always been children of the Prince of Lies, of arrogance, of evil, of night, and of all darkness. Therefore, out of my sight, you constant doers of evil. And I tell you that among them there will be much howling and gnashing of teeth. They will seek their God in endless, never reachable distances and depths, and will not find him, because they found it beneath them to seek me in their vicinity, namely in their hearts. Truly, whoever does not seek God as you have sought him will not find him, not even in all eternity. God is in himself the highest endless, most powerful love, and therefore can only be found through love. In the beginning, love drove you to it, although you imagined to sin by loving me. And look, you found me. I came to you more than half the way, just as your father Uran. But likewise, everyone that wants to find me should seek me, and they will find me as you have found me. But those who seek me with their arrogant intellect will never find me in all eternity. For whoever seeks me with reason resemble a man who bought a house about which he had heard that there was a great treasure hidden under its walls. When the house became his, he began to dig in it one moment here, the next moment there. But he didn't make any proper effort, only dug a shallow hole, and thus did not find the treasure which was buried deeply. Then he thought, "Aha! I know what I will do. I will begin to dig around the house from the outside, and will certainly find the trail of the buried treasure much faster." And so he began to dig outside the house, and of course did not find the treasure, in that it had been buried deep in the middle of his house. And the further he dug new ditches away from the house for the sake of the treasure, the less he found the treasure for whose sake he had bought the whole house. For whoever seeks something there where it is not, and can never be, can also impossibly find what he is seeking. Whoever wants to catch fish must reach into the water with a net, for no fish swim in the air. Whoever wants to dig for gold must not seek it with a net in the sea, but in the depths of the mountains. You cannot see with the ears and hear with your eyes. Every sense has its own goal, and therefore has been determined for a certain purpose. Likewise, the heart of a person who is closely connected to God has alone the goal of seeking God, and also finding Him, and then taking a new, indestructible life from out of this God once found. But whoever seeks God with his other senses can find Him just as little as a man who binds his eyes can find and see the sun with his ears or nose. The correct and living sense of the heart is love, however. Whoever therefore awakens the innermost sense of life and begins to seek God with it must certainly find Him, just as well as a person who, if he is not fully blind, must find the sun with his eye and see its light. But whoever wants to hear a wise word must not stop up his ears and try to hear with an eye, for the eye certainly sees the light and all the illuminated forms, but the more spiritual form of the word cannot be seen, instead only heard with the ear. Do you understand all that?